Well, if there can be no arrangement, then we are at an impasse.
I'm afraid so. I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes?
Morons.
Really?
Welcome to Morons Mince Movies. I am your host, Moron, and I'm here with It's a Bird, It's a Plane. No, it's Ublester Peñalosa.
That was anticlimactic. Yes. Oh, what? Oh, it's a bird. It's a bird.
I'd rather it was a bird, actually.
Yeah.
And today we are mincing the newest Superman film directed by James Gunn and starring
David. Nope. We fucking rehearsed this for like 25 seconds. God damn it. David Corn Sweat.
Corn sweat? Is it corn sweat?
It's when a corn sweats.
Or is it corn's wet?
You may have known from other movies such as Pearl, maybe.
I have no idea.
Anyway, it's a great fucking cast. It's a great director. Let's get into this because I am excited about this movie, Samuel.
Now, before we start, I do want to say to the audience and people who may be watching, the one or two of you out there, that I am not the biggest Superman fan. I just want you guys to know up front. So when you hear my thoughts on this, take that into perspective. Take that into consideration. I do not like Superman as a superhero.
But surely you read the comics.
I don't. I've never been a Superman fan.
Really?
I don't like him as a superhero because I think he's always too powerful. And there's always these convoluted ways of trying to beat him. And But anyways, I just want people to know that before I
thank you for the heads up.
And I know you're the opposite.
I am,
which makes this a great
polar opposite.
Yes,
because
I know you're a huge Superman fan.
I just want you to make sure you choose your words very carefully tonight and put a lot of thought into what you are going to say about my dear Superman.
I never do so.
You don't. in any subject.
Yes.
All right. General thoughts.
It's one of my flaws.
One of your many flaws.
Yeah. You're going to be surprised. I liked it.
What the fuck? How much did you like it?
I didn't think it was great. I didn't come out of the theater being like, oh my God, this is the best superhero movie of all time. Or this is. It was good. It was fine. It was not bad, not great. I didn't have any major things where I was like, oh God, this is terrible. You know? And James Gunn is a competent director and he has a style and it really comes out and he has a sense of humor that I like, which really comes out. And I think it was a decent Superman movie that I think in the end I'm going to recommend. And that's coming from a guy who doesn't like Superman. So that's why I said that up front. So hopefully that gives you some perspective.
That does add a lot. I mean, that's praise as if ever I'm going to hear any praise from you. I, on the other hand, fucking absolutely enjoyed this movie. Subjectively, this movie was great. I can see how some people might objectively have some remarks on it, but we'll discuss that later. General thoughts. I absolutely enjoyed myself. I want to go see it again and again and again and again from different angles, from different seating arrangements. Yes. In Spanish, maybe subtitles. I don't know.
Wow.
The 4D experience, I might even do that one. I read the comics. I saw the cartoons. I played the one video game on the Nintendo 64 that was damn near impossible to beat. You know what I'm talking about there. People out there who also played it.
I heard that was a terrible game.
It was really bad, man. I still wake up in a cold
I think you fly
sweat.
through rings for a long time.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. Oh, God damn it. You remember it. Yeah,
I do,
it was just... And it goes back to the biggest flaw for Superman, which is how do you create anything that adds any sense of dread or impossibility to a character who is literally the most powerful superhuman out there. So let's get into it.
When there's a yellow sun.
Yeah. When there is a yellow sun. Oh, damn it. You're throwing out some fucking terminology that I'm digging right now, man. I thought I was going to have to explain that to you.
But I know the mythology. Well, that's a good segue because this movie is not an origin story.
It's not.
It throws you into Superman's world 3 years after he's revealed himself.
303 years, yeah.
Well, it starts off with 300 years ago, the first metahumans, and then 30
years
30
ago.
decades ago. Yeah, it's like a 333 thing for some reason.
It's 300 years ago. Superhumans
What did you
existed.
think about that? I kind of want to talk about like certain
I will
things.
say,
What do you
yes,
think about that? Did you like
yeah.
that it was sort of like we're not going to do an origin story? I know
Yeah.
that was a known thing, but we never. So I knew this was not going to be an origin story, and we're just going to go into this world, right?
Yeah.
So what did you think about that?
I knew that as well. I will say it was a bit jolting, or it took a second for me to kind of get used to and adapt to this universe, because he really does just throw you in there. He doesn't do any buildup of any kind.
Superman gets thrown in there as well. He just falls.
Legit falls out of the sky, and you're already invested. There's no buildup to this is the kind of world we live in. There's no narrator who says, and by now
there's
the people
no
have
montage.
gotten. Yeah, there's nothing
at the
like
beginning that just explains 300 years of history or anything like that. Which, you know what, I kind of liked.
I was gonna say yes. I was gonna say, even though it took some like getting used to, I'm glad that they did that, because it just gave more time to the movie to actually show you all of this and work on the story and build a story, as opposed to we have to spend the first 15 minutes building this universe and explaining to people that people can fly here and there's a group of superheroes, and maybe your average citizen is used to seeing a monster fighting on the streets. They didn't bother doing any of that.
And you know, like I think it was a good idea that he did that, because as he said in some interviews and whatnot, everybody knows Superman's origin story by now. It's like Batman.
Everybody.
We don't need to see Batman's parents get killed again. Like it's been done so many times.
Again
and you know
and again.
what? After seeing this movie, I think it even fits with Christopher Reeve's Superman. Like you with some, you know, some things you kind of have to ignore here and there.
Yeah.
But like you could sort of connect, like, oh, Christopher Reeve's Superman. Obviously, it takes place in a different decade altogether. But you could just sort of like kind of like put things together. Like, hey, maybe those were his like her first 2 years, and now we're in the third year,
the stretch of the imagination can make
it
it work.
It wouldn't work with Snyder's because Justice League is already there's some things that change.
Not only that, but also Superman's like his view on shit.
Yeah. Which aligns a little bit more with Christopher Reeve's Superman, I think, even though he is nowhere near as corny as Reeve's Superman is from back then. But you know, I just sort of like, okay. It goes in real. You go in deep, and you know, and this everything's sort of established already, and just kind of catching up with it, really. Yeah. And I was fine with it. You know, his dog Crypto shows up right away to save him after. So he's lost his first battle.
First cinematic experience. For Crypto.
Super dog.
Yeah,
right?
Super dog. Crypto. But yeah, he lost his first battle at the beginning of the movie, which
you don't see. It's just told to you in text, and you know, we get to see the Fortress of Solitude, which
was awesome.
Which was cool, you know. I mean,
the robots.
There's some suspension of disbelief there, which with all Superman movies.
I was gonna say, you're kind of already walking into a movie where you have to suspend your belief to a certain point.
But the thing is, it's establishing the rules, and it's saying like this thing just comes in and out of the ground somehow.
Yep. He built it.
Whatever.
He figured out the technology, the way to do it. I was shocked to see that Bradley Cooper was the dad.
And Jor-El.
I could have. Listen, Jor-El. I for a second I thought it was Lady Gaga who was so I was confused, because for like a split second I was like, is this fucking Star is Born?
Oh, Star is Born.
They just jumped out of there and gave birth to Kal-El. I thought it was. I liked it. Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, well, that's like the first piece of important information. Actually, is this video of Superman's parents, which becomes important later on in the film.
Speaking in
and it's something that Superman uses to comfort him. He's hurt after this battle. The robot. He's got these super bots that are guarding the Fortress of Solitude, and they're gonna go heal him, by exposing him to direct yellow
doing
sunlight.
what they're programmed to do, which is assist and support Superman, Kal-El. They see him wounded. They start analyzing him, scanning him, and they They strap him up to this chair and just expose him to our yellow sun, magnified.
Yes, magnified.
Tenfold.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that intro, man. It was all exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Movie. I have to say that the visual effects were really good in this movie.
Right?
Like, I didn't have any moments that I've had with previous DC movies where, like, God, the visual effects are terrible. I mean, the Flash comes to mind right away. I mean, that was infamous for how bad it's visual effects, CGI, right? So I'm glad that they did a good job with that, where things looked good, and at no time was I distracted by visual effects. In this movie.
It looked great, man. The universe, the world, Metropolis. Whenever they showed the Fortress of Solitude, everything visually was great. I like the costume. I don't know if you have any opinion on his costume. I know some people do.
I don't understand what's controversial about it. Is it because his tights are like shorts or something?
It's not that it's controversial. It's not so much it's controversial. It's just I guess people have a lot to say on whether he should sport the trunks, the red underwear outside of his trunks. Because
I think that's classic.
Snyder's famously didn't do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that's why there was this huge. Exactly. That's my response, which is. You're fine if you do. You're fine if you don't. But
I mean, how much more can you do with the Superman outfit? It's blue and it's red. You just got to make sure it's red and blue.
You invert the colors to where he's wearing blue trousers and her full red outfit.
That would be blasphemous.
Blue cape. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. His suit was his suit. It was fine. I didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah.
Let's get into the story, right? So Superman heals up. He goes back to Metropolis because it's being attacked by this Ultraman guy.
Hammer of Borivia.
The Hammer of Borivia, who ends up being Ultraman. Right? Am I correct in this?
I believe so. Yes. It was.
You're supposed to help me with it.
But then you right away find out, and this was kind of my also, like, I was put off by the fact that right out of the gate they show that it's Lex Luthor controlling this robot, and I love the way that they show him controlling it because so I read a lot of comic books. I'm not going to say I'm caught up with all of the comics. I'm not going to say I read all of them, but there was a decade in my life where Superman comics were my go-to. I would buy the full-on story arcs already combined into one book.
Yes.
And one of the things that stood out to me the most was like Lex Luthor's brain power and how he used his brains over brawn.
Yes.
And I was wondering if they were going to portray that, and they did it beautifully.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Holt, who plays Lex Luthor,
he did a really good portrayal.
He's been on fire,
Lex.
Man.
He has
been in so many
from
movies.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, on top of other movies.
X-Men First Class.
Yeah, that goes way back.
Way back. I'm going all over the place.
But he's been kicking ass lately, and I thought he was good as Lex Luthor. I liked him.
Yep.
I liked how evil he was. And
one scene.
Especially later on in the film when they're in the pocket universe, as they say.
Yes.
So all this, there's a fight that happens and everything, and Superman gets his ass kicked again. And Lex, this whole story is that Lex is there's this conflict between these two fictitious countries in this world whose names I cannot remember. It's like Bavaria and Joharia. I have no idea. I think it's meant to have like a Russia-Ukraine type of thing.
Russia-Ukraine or Palestine or Jerusalem.
I have no idea. But whatever. So Superman apparently in the backstory intervened into this conflict, and now Lex is behind all this. He's trying to have this conflict going because he wants to get some land in Jaharia, whatever that other place is. I cannot remember the name whatsoever.
Lex Luthor. Let's call it.
And his whole thing is and his whole thing is he's trying to convince the United States government to destroy Superman, and basically
that's his whole plan.
Yeah, his whole plan is to kind of have Superman portrayed in a bad light, to humanity. Yes.
And he's doing it again. The way you play a game of chess is you calculate, you strategize, you only do what you need to do. Maybe even set a trap or a distraction just to get some more information, and that's what he's doing. We see as soon as he leaves his own Fortress of Solitude to go back and fight, we see that there's this girl who's like, oh, I got eyes on his fortress. I'm on my way. And, you find out that this whole distraction with the hammer in Metropolis was really just to get Clark, aka Superman, to fly back to his fortress so that someone can follow it.
Yes.
I see where it's at. Get the location. Yeah, the engineer. Get the location. And once they do that in this movie, Lex, very smartly so, is like, okay, that's it. We've got what we need. We followed him to his fortress, call off the fight, and the hammer does some speech. He leaves, and everyone's like, okay, cool, that it's done. But Lex has this information, and he uses it right away.
Yes, and it leads us to another. So, what do you think of the henchmen, the engineer and the Ultraman?
I knew right away, like when Ultraman I saw Ultraman fighting with, and this is spoilers, of course, but early on, I kind of knew.
Review.
So there was one scene where he gets Clark, and I know this happens later in the movie, but he arrests him and he smashes his face into the concrete, and I thought, either this person is extremely strong, same level of strength as Superman, or Superman is dummy, like something's affecting his strength. When I realized there was no kryptonite and I knew it was the level of strength that this person had, I mean, the only person that would have that kind of strength to hit him that hard is himself. Yeah. So I know in the Superman universe, there is a lot of cloning. He gets cloned a few times. It's the story arc. It's the centerpiece of a lot of different story arcs in the Superman universe. So right away, my brain went to this might be a clone.
Yeah, I did not even think about it.
Of course, you have to be an avid Superman reader to know.
Yeah, I did not even think about
cloning.
But anyways, they go into the Fortress of Solitude. They kick ass of all the robots. Yes. The engineer and Ultraman just destroy everything. And since you know he is the clone of Superman, that's how they get in because he's got the DNA.
So unbeknownst to the viewer, because this whole time Ultraman is wearing a mask and goggles, now that they have the location, they all fly to the Fortress of Solitude. And I mean the engineer, Ultraman, Lex, and a few other henchmen, some scientists. And they ask themselves, how are we even going to get this open? Lex Luthor, being Lex Luthor, having his brains, already knew this would be something that's based on DNA. He knows he has the clone of someone that's based on DNA, and that's another reason why I knew that it was going to be a clone is because
so you already had it. You had it
in the comic books. It's very obvious that it's the DNA that uses as a key.
Good.
So they trash the shit. Now the engineer is able to decipher the rest of this video that has been such a huge part of Clark's life.
Yes, he's one of the main inspirations for what he does. Right?
Yeah, it's a video of his parents basically telling him, "We love you more than the heavens, and our planet is dying. We're sending you to this planet Earth where you are, be a big difference and be a good guy, and you do good shit, while you're out there." That's what they said.
But then
just do good shit.
And it breaks up at the most pivotal moment.
Right before, but right never forget, no matter what, whatever you do, Clark, and it stopped. And he's never been able to realize what it is.
Right before his parents go full Hitler.
And you never go full Hitler.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to do that.
So then the engineer deciphers this thing and basically beams it out. So this world takes place in our time. So social media exists and everything now. Beams it out to social media. And his parents are basically going full Hitler, telling Superman, you need to go in here, fucking dominate these weak-ass humans.
These planet I'm sending you at is weak. People are weak.
Bradley Cooper was full
kind of a dick.
Yeah, kind of a dick. Yeah. And he pretty much said these weak ass humans. I think he used those exact words.
This bitch.
In whatever Kryptonian language.
Yeah.
Yes, weak ass humans.
He told him to set up a harem. He told him to basically
get some
spread
wives,
your seed.
Spread your seed.
Spread your seed and keep our people going because these people are weak.
Yeah.
And they're not going to. But again, this is a message that he had never heard because of the video being corrupted.
I shouldn't have said Hitler. Now we're never going to get any...
oh, man.
The algorithm is totally destroyed us.
Beep it before. H-guy. But yeah, no. You find out that his parents, Kal-El and Laurel, had a different plan for him, which was go and conquer Earth,
which pretty much destroys Superman because he's
right away a little too quick. This is one of my few critiques of this movie is like you have this person that has been doing good and saving lives and inspiration, and he's hope. And like you get this one video that shows this, and immediately people are like, "Fuck that guy! You fucking bitch! Fuck you! I don't know. Yeah, you saved my cousin and my family that one time, but this video of your parents just came out, so fuck you." And I was like, that was a bit too quick.
I mean, when you think about today's world and how easy people, especially with social media, it's very easy for people to turn on someone.
All it takes. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Like that kind of stuff is I believe it now. I wouldn't have believed this 20 years ago, 10 years ago, but now I believe it. Yeah, people turned that fast. I mean,
they turned on him hard.
I think like 3 months ago, Elon Musk was the world's worst person.
Is true.
Now Elon Musk is all cool with the liberals again because,
Well, I didn't catch on to that. I thought he was still on the bad side.
No.
I see what you're saying,
He had some spat with Trump, and now everybody's all cool. Oh, damn, I said another bad thing that the algorithm doesn't like.
Man, you're just ruining this episode from the inside out.
You can't do anything. Anyways,
so people turn on him real fast. Man. Like they're like, "Is this fucking true?" Even the Justice Gang.
The Justice Gang. Oh, that's good. That's a good.
Again, you have to have read the comics, because in the comics, a lot of people that don't know think that the Justice League just started as the Justice League with Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. And no, the truth is, yes.
They were first a gang.
It was just a gang at first. And Superman and Batman were never part of the first lineup. Like yes, there was the Justice Society, and that happened, which they hint at in this movie when they're in the Justice Center. They have the...
Oh, really? I totally missed that.
But the Justice League, which your average movie watcher, comic book reader knows as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and others, never started that way. They recruited them, and Superman and Batman were both against being in the league at first.
Oh.
Superman specifically was like, "No, you don't get it. You don't get it. If you have a club where I'm part of the club, people are going to start labeling me. They're going to start having these expectations of me. So I'd rather not." So the fact that in this movie...
That's a much better story than what they actually did.
Yeah, there's a comic book where he struggles to cope with the understanding of being part. And Batman's view on this is, what do you think a club of the strongest, most powerful superheroes is going to imply to people? What message do you think we're going to be sending? You're fucking crazy if you think that something called the Justice League is what this world... It's a very good story arc. But
it'd be interesting if they end up going that way. But let's go back to the gangsters here.
It was nice to see that in this movie, it's not Superman and Green Lantern and Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific. It's them having their own club that they're kind of trying to throw out. They're trying to start. They're trying to bring up. And then
they have corporate sponsors, apparently.
They have sponsors, which, again, in the comic book universe, this is a storyline that happens, which is funding for these groups. And do we do what the government tells us to do? Or do we do our own bidding? So I like that they touched on that.
So there's the Green Lantern guy. Did he always have that awesome haircut? Because
yes, one of the versions, Guy Gardner, who is
fantastic. Yes. I loved it. I love the haircut. I thought really it was meant to be as a joke, which it turns out to be a joke. But I mean, But I guess that's comic book accurate.
That's how he looked in the comic books.
I really enjoyed. I actually liked the Justice Gang, with the exception of Hawk Girl, who didn't really do much.
Flesh out. Yeah, they didn't really flesh her out as much as they could.
I thought Mr. Terrific was fucking awesome.
He was great.
He was, I loved him. He did a lot of humor with him. It was good.
Yep.
I love the Justice Gang.
Yeah, Guy as Green Lantern. They definitely, because in the comics, this version of Green Lantern is basically that. He's kind of cocky. He's got some more selfish motivations. And I'm eager to see what they do with the Green Lantern Corp, because the Green Lantern Corp has always been just one of these.
The P is silent.
What? What? Are you sure? Anyway, I guess we'll agree to disagree. The Green Lantern Corp has definitely just been one of those storylines that I really wish they can do more with. John Stewart, the whole power of the ring.
John Stewart is in the Green Lantern Corps?
Not that John Stewart from the Daily Show. We're talking about a different John Stewart.
That's awesome. Why did he quit and do the Daily Show?
He wanted to try something else other than saving. Yeah, I know. He chose a different career path. But
all right, let's get going because we got to speed this up. This was supposed to be a 30-minute episode, and again, we have failed. We always fail.
So where were we?
So we did the Justice Gang. So I just want to say some quick stuff. I did. Some of the battles were kind of like whatever, like with the battle with the big lizard thing, it was cool and all.
It keeps growing.
I understand that they kind of did it to sort of develop the Justice Gang and kind of show their personalities and everything, but whatever. And then you have like we didn't talk about Lois Lane, who's played by the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, is that her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I really liked Lois Lane.
I thought she was great.
Yep. Yeah.
And I also like the cast that's in the Daily what's the name of the
Daily
Bugle?
Daily Planet.
Oh, that's Spider-Man,
Daily
right?
Bugle is Spider-Man.
Okay, sorry.
This is the Daily Planet. This is with Chief and Jimmy Olsen and Perry.
Yeah, whoever the guy who ends up getting
Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah, Jimmy.
He was good. I liked him.
I like that they didn't really explain a lot about how he just happens to be this like God's
a womanizer?
answer to women. Yeah. Like every woman is like obsessing over him and they're waving at him from far away and it's like, what the fuck is it? What does he have?
I don't know, but I thought it was great. I liked it. I liked that little comic relief there. It was good. All that stuff was good.
Yep.
Let me see. Where do we go
Ma
from
and
here?
Pa, he had his parents.
Oh, yes, the Kents. I actually really liked the depiction of the Kents.
Yep.
They were like much older. They looked very like, I don't know. They felt very real.
Yeah.
Like previous Kent families, you had like Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
You had like really famous actors playing them. Forrest Gump's mom played, the Martha Kent at one point, I believe. Yeah,
for the
what was her name? God, I can't remember her name. Sally Field.
Sally Field.
There you go. And,
yeah.
And so like I like that they were unknown actors. I'm pretty sure they've done other movies. I feel like I've seen the dad in other things before, but and even the mom as well. But they're not like well-known actors.
They're not.
So it made the parents seem very real, like very like I don't know, something that I haven't seen the Kent parents be, which is like. Like southern, real Kansas.
Can I add to that?
Go for it.
Because I have been dying to discuss this with someone, which is in the comic books, there is a lot of focus on what kind of people Martha and John Kent. John? His father?
I don't know. You should know this.
I know I should. Pa Kent. There's a lot of focus on what kind of people they need to be in order to raise someone like Superman. Again, you need to remember Clark Kent was this farmer's kid born in Smallville, raised in Smallville, and one of these like good old two shoes and hope in the good and that's what embodies Clark Kent. So if you have parents that are these big movie stars or that like do the extra like, no, son, you got to do, then it kind of takes away from that because it doesn't feel like that's the kind of parent. You need someone that's humble, down to earth, not really in tune with what's going on.
Yeah.
Just there to teach you, son, there's some bad people in the world, but you do good no matter what.
Yeah, and when you relate, I mean, I only know I don't read the comics, so I only know the Kent family from the different movies. But if you compare like Kevin Costner's, Pa Kent to this Pa Kent, Kevin Costner's feels like super wise, like he's like that knows all these things.
Yeah.
While this other one just feels like he's been winging it, and he hopes he has good intentions. Yep. He's not like super smart or anything, but he just loves his son and just wants him. Everything he's doing is because of the love. That's the way it felt to me.
I'm so glad that you brought it up.
I like that.
Again, I like this representation. They seemed like what your typical Kansas couple would look like, which is down to earth, not up to...
Not saying that there aren't very intelligent people in Kansas, but
I am.
Oh, you are? You're saying that there isn't?
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really
Peñalosa II.
I really like the way they portray the Kents. I like the fact that he goes back to their farm. I like that scene where Lois Lane is in his room.
Yeah.
and she's watching this bedroom of this that looks like a fucking Kansas teenager. who's been shielded.
A good job. Yeah, they do a good job.
I really like that representation. And again, all of this is a nice change of pace from, not to say that it was bad, but Zack Snyder's Superman it felt heavy. It felt dark. It felt like that, like angst of like, I'm a loner and nobody understands me. And why do I got to do this? Why do I got to be helpful? And it's not really what I connect with Superman. When I see Superman, when I hear, even in the storylines where he's having, those existential crises, I still see him as someone that will save a life no matter if it's a squirrel, which they show in this movie. There's a squirrel that's about to die and he goes out of his way to save the fucking squirrel.
Yeah.
And that's what I see Superman as, is someone that does good no matter what.
He's better than Jesus. I mean,
he's
let's be
better.
honest.
He
he's
really
better
is.
He's better than Jesus.
Got a better fashion sense than Jesus. I'll say that. Those boots are way better than the sandals. But yeah, I feel like this movie did a fucking great job portraying what I envisioned as Superman, which is just good and hope and who cares about all the other shit.
Yeah, I did like that. And to counterpoint that, I don't think that it goes full on like super cheesy, all good Superman. I think there's definitely a dark side here that it does touch on. Especially with his whole feeling of betrayal of his parents and whatnot, that he does have that crisis of like, well, do I continue? And that's where his parents really become an important thing. And they're the ones who are like, hey, you didn't do this really because your parents have set this sort of destiny for you or this mandate for you. You did it because of your own choices and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I really like that part about it. Like I've always disliked Superman in the fact that he's all good and he's never has any conflict and everything like that. At least how he's portrayed in certain movies. And that's kind of what I liked about Snyder's Superman, that it was dark and a little bit more adult and whatnot. And I didn't think it went too far, but I get what people are saying. And I think this one does a nice balance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I like the fact that also the movie as a whole is a bit more adult. Like, this is a good segue to the whole Pocket Universe scene where Superman gets caught. All right, and he gets imprisoned in a box with this guy who can metamorph. What the hell is his name?
Morpho.
Is it Morpho?
I don't know. I'll tell
Morpheus.
you right now. Morpheus.
Is it Morpheus?
No, it is
Morphology.
I think it's Morphon.
This is where Arturo would have been very helpful. Okay.
He would have stepped in. No, I think it's Morpho.
Is it Morpho?
I don't see
it. Sounds like you're saying mofo. What a morpho.
Could have been Morpho.
That morpho. So that morpho decides to help out Lex Luthor and turns his hand into kryptonite so that Superman can't escape. But in this scene, I really enjoyed how the portrayal of how Lex Luthor, how evil he can be, where he kills this innocent guy who comes out earlier in the movie.
Metamorpho.
Thank you.
That was close.
He's not just a morpho, he's a metamorpho. Okay. And there's this guy who, Lex Luthor is training Superman. He's got to tell him certain things or else he's going to kill this guy. And and he ends up shooting him. Yeah. Which I did not expect.
He doesn't just shoot him though. He does this Russian roulette thing.
Yeah.
Where he gets a revolver, he puts one bullet in the barrel, he gives it a spin, and he's all like, all right, man, here it is. Answer this fucking question. Answer it, plaque, and nothing happens. He's like, oh man, you got lucky. Spins it again. And so he's just fucking with Superman psychologically and menacingly, because that can absolutely carry the bullet in the chamber, which happens in the second fucking question.
I liked it. I liked the fact that
I thought there was gonna be a buildup. I was like, oh, they're gonna really milk this one with the threatening, and Superman might have to use his super hearing to hear where the bullet is in the revolver. They're really gonna stretch it. Nope.
I'm glad they didn't do any of that shit. I'm glad he didn't get saved and he was killed, because I did not expect that. And I was like, oh, nice. Now it feels like that scene made it feel like Lex Luthor is a good villain, evil. A good conflict to evil. Superman. Yeah.
He's evil.
When before you always just kind of be like, why is Lex such a big deal? Like he's just a human.
Yeah.
But that scene really establishes of his sort of evilness and how far he will go.
I also like a lot of his monologuing that Lex Luthor does. is in line with why Lex Luthor as a character in the comics and in the cartoons hates Superman so much.
Yeah.
And it's not so much because I want to be evil and he is stopping me from being evil. It's more because I've spent my entire life struggling, learning, educating myself, working out to be the best. I eat well, I exercise, I read so that I can be smart. I want to be the epitome of human beings.
Yes.
And then this fucking
Morpho
alien
comes out of nowhere.
This fucking alien comes from the sky, and he is, without having to even try, just perfect in every way.
Yes.
And Lex Luthor fucking hates that,
yes.
especially because he doesn't see him as human. He says, if it was just a competition with humans, I would be the fucking best. But because this alien is now involved, he's making us as humans look worse. And it's this anger that Lex Luthor has against Superman for being alien that kind of drives who he is and why he does what he does. And I think that Nick Holt...
Yeah, that was good. I liked all that stuff. Yeah. And you know what's good about what James Gunn does here is that a lot of that is sort of given to you in passing, and you see it not just in words that he says, but also in how he acts and things like that. And also the whole thing with Superman's parents is kind of done in passing. So even though this is not an origin story, he does a very good job of establishing these things that we already know, but putting it within this story. So I like that. I liked all that stuff. So far I'm going out positive, but let's get to some of the things that I didn't like.
Okay. What are you going to start with?
So the whole thing in the Pocket Universe, I wasn't a big fan of the baby. You know how I feel about babies in movies? God damn it. Every time they put a baby in movie, and even though this is like a super meta human baby or whatever it is,
still
you have this whole sequence where
he falls into his anti-proton
whatever
river.
the fuck it is, and then he's like saving the baby, and there's a big fight and everything like that. I rolled my eyes at that entire scene. Did not like it one bit. And
more so because you would, in the real world, just let the baby die. You would.
I would.
Any situation where there's a baby
not Superman,
involved,
obviously.
Sam is like, that baby's been alive for like fucking 13 days. What do I care? Kill it. How much can it know about life? Kill it. I don't care.
It's just like, God
Superman
damn it.
didn't. Yeah, no, I get your hatred for babies.
It was fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Contrast that whole action scene. Contrast that with the action scene of Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane. That was a great action scene.
Yeah, where he sends the robots.
Yeah, and it was all one take. I don't know if you noticed that. One take, and it was like really within the perspective of Lois Lane as she's in the orb, even though it's not her perspective, but like going on kind of what she's watching, and then you get to see her reaction, and then things are happening there. It was very well done.
That's true.
2 thumbs up on that scene, James Gunn. And all that stuff was good. When we get to the ending, we get the final climactic fight between the Engineer, Superman, and Ultraman. So the whole thing goes is that, everybody's now against Superman because of the whole thing that happened. That his parents went full, full H guy.
Yeah.
And so Lex Luthor convinces, Bavaria, whatever that other country, decides we're gonna invade since Superman is
busy. Superman he's
locked up according to what they know, right? And that whole thing's happening, but he gets out obviously after this whole scene in the Pocket Universe, and the super Metamorpho decides to help him after Lex Luthor shoots the guy. He kind of like loses realization how evil Lex is,
and I really like how they approach that, which is smart. There's no more kryptonite left on Earth.
But he's still weak because there's no yellow. I like that too.
Yep.
I like that too.
They stick with the science of the universe.
They follow the logic.
They don't say, it turns out
Tori,
you
who would have just expected there not to be any logic.
Fine, you don't have to follow the logic of
Tori
the universe.
Doesn't feel like any.
No, and they do really stick with the universe that they have built. So Superman, while he's in this Pocket Universe, is weak. Because A, Metamorpho has morphed himself into kryptonite, but B, there's no yellow sun for him to recover from. So even after Metamorpho gets his realization and turns off the kryptonite, Superman is still weak because there is no yellow sun. So he decides to create his own yellow sun, and the guards are catching on, and there's this suspense where he's trying to like fucking recreate the yellow sun, and and the guards are catching on, and they're breaking the glass, and then they escape from the pocket universe, and there's this river of anti-proton fucking things that's
which is what
ripping you apart. Now, this is what I like, because as that happens, it happens after. That pocket universe starts going out of control.
Yes, this is during the whole scene where he's saving the baby and everything.
Yeah,
They managed to get out. Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane get in there, and they're trying to find Superman. They find him.
Crypto helps.
Yeah, Crypto helps. And that's right. Crypto's in there, and they all get out and everything and whatnot. But so then the machine gets destroyed, right?
Yes.
But Lex is like,
obsessed.
He's like obsessed with, like, we have to get Superman. I know how to get him back. I'm gonna like basically split the universe in half or whatever.
He'll have to show up.
Yeah, he'll have to show up, and he'll be distracted with this, and we can still invade Jaharia, whatever the fuck the name of that country is, and all that stuff. So that's when we get to the climactic battle, right? The Justice Gang decide they're gonna go over and save the Jaharians.
Yes.
Whatever I'm sure I have that wrong. There are people commenting or not commenting right now.
They're just they probably are like, no, he's not even getting the Jahampurian. Jarhampurian.
Yes, good job. You're doing a great.
I got it. Jarhampurian.
I like how you try.
I gotta look it up. I gotta do Jarhampurians. Yes.
Yeah, and so they have this battle, right? So in this battle, I have to ask you, does Superman need to breathe?
Yes, but he can hold his breath if there's oxygen, because there's a line that he says, which is, if he has oxygen in his lungs, like he can technically hold that shit for hours.
Well, they say 1 hour or whatever.
No.
That's what he said when they were going, how long can Superman hold his breath? An hour.
More than an hour.
That's what
Superman.
they said.
He's in space. No.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Right.
How does Superman need to breathe? He goes into space.
The thing
There's
is that
no
he
air
says
up there.
when the engineer starts suffocating him with her technology, it's sucking the air out. So if you suck out all the air of his lungs, and where now he's just basically gonna have to survive on whatever oxygen his body has already consumed, that's 1 hour or so. But if he has a mouthful, if he can go and then hold his breath, that's fucking days. That's hours and hours.
Sure?
Yes,
okay.
I'm
so he can go
positive
into space and everything and be there.
And he's doing his stuff, holding his breath, and he comes back down.
He shouldn't be able to talk while he's in space.
No.
Okay,
because
good.
sound waves and all that.
Yeah.
No, he can hold
air.
his breath significantly, but the whole movie was they're going to first take out all the oxygen in his lungs.
Yeah.
And then he'll have to suffocate within an hour.
All right, fine.
So, yeah, that's how they approached it.
I wanted you to explain that part to me, because I was like, wait, Superman doesn't need to breathe. He goes into space.
Yeah.
Why does he need oxygen?
He has to breathe, but not as often as we do.
Okay. All right. What did you think of the whole ending and reveal? As you know, the Ultraman is revealed. He's a clone and everything.
A clone, and they fought him and they were able to beat him. I enjoyed all of it, man.
Yeah.
I didn't have any gripes with it. Again, I liked how Lex Luthor was controlling the clone with the moves. B5 and B6, and he was listening to doing all that.
He was playing a video game.
And then I wanted it for more so to be Superman catching on to that and disrupting that and then using that. And I think that's what he ended up kind of doing,
Crypto,
right?
Crypto comes in and helps. Superdog actually becomes a big part here. And not just earlier where he, earlier they set up the whole thing that he bites on them on Terrific's machines.
Yeah.
And so then they find out that he's been watching them with these drones or whatever.
Crypto's the one
and Crypto ends up destroying them.
Get the ball, Crypto. And he's destroying each and every one of the fucking orbs.
Which doesn't allow Lex Luthor to contact the clone, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And
so then that's when Superman goes berserk.
Takes advantage,
defeats.
Throws him back into the pocket universe, into the black hole, and defeats him.
And then they managed to reveal to the world that it was Lex Luthor who was the bad guy all along.
Thanks to Jimmy, whatever his name is.
Jimmy Olsen, whose
girlfriend
revealed ex-girlfriend who was taking selfies of herself with Lex Luthor's plans in the background.
Yeah.
They get that to the Daily Planet. They upload that story. Jimmy Olsen gets editing credit.
Yeah.
And everyone, just like with them finding out that Superman's parents had sent him here to conquer everyone, immediately they find out that Lex Luthor's plan all along was to try to take half of this country, Jarumpurian, which I know based off of my memory, and then they quickly turn on Lex, and now
they turn around again.
Yeah, then they turn around and they're like, "Never mind, we hate Lex now." Boo,
Lex.
Boo, Lex.
We'll forget about what happened with Superman.
Yep.
I did enjoy the final things before we get to the great. I did enjoy the little sort of conversation before Superman beats down poor Lex, and the whole thing with like. Because as you said, Lex Luthor's thing is that he's envious of Superman, and that he's just came out of nowhere. He doesn't really have to work hard like he worked hard to get where he's at, and he just came and he's Superman.
Yeah.
But Superman tells him, that's where you're wrong. I make mistakes all the time.
Yes.
Every day I get up and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not, and I am human in that way. I like that.
Was nice.
I like that whole little thing, even though. It comes in a moment, that sort of like the superhero cliche moment. Like it's the final confrontation. He just like blurts out a bunch of stuff.
Reveal everything.
Yeah. But I liked it. It was actually a little bit kind of emotional. I was like, I did not
crying.
No.
Stop, you heard it here first, you guys.
Stop.
This is a Morons Mince Movies special. Sam cried over Superman.
No, I did not. I did not cry.
As much.
I felt something in that moment. That, and I think the guy, whatever, David Corn Sweat. Corn Sweat. I think you really see his acting there. He did a good job in how he performed that part, which I think was very important with really establishing Superman in this universe and what his core conflict is, right? His inner core conflict, and I liked it. I was like, I actually felt something for Superman that I hadn't felt for him as a superhero character in a while. No, because what I love about Batman is that he is human. He's a human. He has tons of conflict. Some would even say that he's kind of a bad guy. And Superman is the opposite, know? And here I felt like, you're finally getting to something about Superman that I like, which is maybe his human side or whatever, quote unquote. His flaws, whatever his flaws may be.
There's been very few properties that show Superman as his flaws.
Yeah. And usually his flaws are like, he's allergic to kryptonite.
I have no friends because I'm too powerful. No, I really will say that David Corn Sweat was a great choice for the role of Superman, because he did manage to, and it's very difficult. You see Henry Cavill and you think to yourself, well, I mean, just look at him. He's like this he's powerful, brutal. This guy must never feel weakness. This guy must never feel vulnerable because he's so strong and stoic and just like the way he looks. Whereas with this actor, he gave this touch to Superman where he managed to, in one scene, show how he's super powerful and strong, and another scene show how he's vulnerable and makes mistakes and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. That scene where Lois Lane is interviewing him, and she's managing to give him these tough questions that he doesn't know how to answer, and he's fumbling over, and he's all like, and I felt like that's probably how I would react and respond to being interviewed by my wife.
Yeah.
and
that interview is really good too. That scene is actually really good. It's
really good.
Very good acting on both sides, both actors, and I really like that. What's happening there is that he's questioning, because Superman is a man of absolutes.
Yeah,
like people should never be killed. Death is bad. So people were gonna die. Like his whole thing is people were gonna die. Yeah. Why are you questioning my actions?
Right.
I save people's lives.
Yep.
And he just can't understand that sometimes there's gray areas. And that's the thing about Superman, is that he's not a gray area. And if you make a movie where you finally show Superman as being this gray area, and it makes him a lot more interesting character, and that's what I think was good about this movie.
Yeah,
and
I really like that
other
aspect.
movies haven't really done as effectively as this has done it.
Yeah, no, and I like that part as well, because as a Superman fan, I remember always thinking to myself, he has the power to just like go and get all the guns from all the country. He can do it in a matter of hours because of how fast he is. and he can throw them onto the sun, and there. Good luck killing yourself, humans. Now, but is that ethically right? Is that morally right? Do you have... Like, what does that make you? Does that make it makes you a tyrant now?
Yeah.
Like, if
true.
you,
those are
you
interesting
have the power.
Conversations.
So it's one of these struggles that Superman has to get used to, which is you can't just fucking
with
go to
great power
another
comes
country.
great responsibility.
That you should fucking write that down, copyright that.
I know.
Copyright that, dude. We can bank on that, man.
That's a different company altogether.
Is it? Ah, damn it! I marvel at our stupidity sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like how they touch on that. So I was all for this movie, man. I know. It takes if you're, I don't know how to say it, because I can see why some people might give it a lower score, is because it doesn't have that traditional introduction to this universe. And let's spend this whole first movie not really showing you like superhero conflict. We're gonna show you the character build up to this person finally accepting his role as a superhero, and that's where it's gonna end. Maybe you'll get 20 minutes of them actually filling their shoes as a superhero. Not this one. This one, from the intro, it's like, all right, you already fucking know Superman, right? Let's get right into it. He's been doing this for a few years now.
Yeah.
Catch up, you know?
Yeah. I like it. So yeah. All right. Should we grade it?
I'm ready to grade it. Yeah.
All right. So like I said, I thought you were gonna be surprised at my reaction, because I liked it. Like I said, I don't think it was great. I don't know what it is that was missing about this movie. Some of like the battles, like I said, feel very like generic and whatnot, and it's nothing new, and that's sometimes like hurts a movie for me. But that's just superhero movies in general now for me. Yeah. It's hard to kind of do those battles and make it feel fresh. So yeah, but in the end I did like it. So I'm gonna give it a B+.
Nice.
B+.
Nice. Yeah. I am going to give it, and if I was just going with objective, I would probably give it a B+ as well. But the subjective has a huge part in this, so I'm gonna give it an A. It would have been even higher score if they would have really kind of tapped into all of his little, if they would have had him use his little powers throughout his, data, his laser eyes, his.
I know that's something also that I liked.
They
didn't just go on. Yeah, his laser eyes were used in specific moments when it was seemed necessary.
Yeah.
Like the more I talk about it, the more I'm liking the movie, to be honest. Like, looking back at it, but I liked all that stuff.
The reason why I say this is because in the comics, he's had years, in some versions, some iterations, he's had years to practice all of these techniques. And because he's able to move so fast, he can slow things down in a split second in a busy office and see someone that's about to fall down off the ladder over there. And he has his coffee, which has been sitting and it's cold. And there's something that's happening over there. And because he's Superman, he can slow it down and do something like point and affect the ladder from falling and heat up his coffee with his laser and stop that, all while making it seem like he's just being clumsy and being Clark Kent, when in reality he's actually like planning everything. Like, he's using all of his different abilities to the best that they can because he's perfected them. I wanted to see more of that in this movie, but we didn't really see a lot of him. But I mean, he's been doing this he's again. I
feel like if you go that route, then it becomes like, well, why would anybody defeat him?
Exactly.
No one would ever defeat him.
And
like, that's another problem with Superman. Is like when you show his powers as being that powerful. You're like, well,
what? Yeah,
it's hard to believe anything. Anything can beat him.
I'm so glad you said. I know we're already closing it, but in that scene where he's fighting the Hammer and Lex is giving him the commands and there's orbs, my first instinct was, this is stupid, because Clark would be able to hear that very specific radar coming from that machine, and he'd fine-tune his hearing and hear Lex from that building up there on the 4th floor giving the commands, and he would see through X-ray, and there's Lex I can see the sound waves coming from that robot. But that, to your point, that just that makes it like, well, boring.
Yeah, it does.
If you're
That's
gonna
why
tell
Superman
me,
is a terrible
if
character.
You're gonna tell me Superman,
when you make him that way.
Superman in his later years, when we're talking like he's been doing this for 30, 50 years now, that's the kind of power level that he's at in the comics, where he can say,
levels
I
up.
can see an infrared.
He's RPG 100.
Superman can see an infrared, so all I have to do is focus my attention on this robot via infrared, and I see the wave signals going to that antenna. All I just have to destroy that antenna with my laser from over here 50 miles away, and then the robot's dead. And that's so I'm really glad that they didn't do that to the Superman. They still made it to where he's
powerful, but he's not so powerful that you can believe that.
Yeah.
Because then you're like thinking like, why would that monster at all like
even
if he's that super fast and just fucking go in there and like knock him out? Like I mean, why is this taking so long? You know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I like that he did it. I like that there was some. I don't want to say sandbagging, but there was some like, okay, let's bring his power level down a notch for the sake of making it interesting.
Yeah,
and I think that they did a great job.
All right.
So A, B plus averages out to an A plus. I don't have to do the math. We'll check our math after this episode.
Well, that's what we thought of Superman, directed by James Gunn and starring
David Corn Sweats.
All right.
Corn precipitation.
I still don't know if we're pronouncing that correctly.
I'm pretty sure we're not. It would have stood out if it was
anyways,
Corn Sweat.
Please like and subscribe. Tell us know what you thought. Let us know what you thought of Superman.
And always keep your eyes on the skis.
Yeah.
Skies.
And always, yes.
Have a dark night.
Yeah. Good night.